Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, we're live. Hope you're doing well this afternoon. Welcome to another one of the wave of webinars organized by LEORON Professional Development Institute. Today's subject is Organizational Excellence Beyond Quality Management. Some of you already know me. My name is Monica. I work as an international training consultant at LEORON. I'll be here your host for this webinar. I'll make sure everything's running smoothly. Before we start, I would like to introduce you to our expert trainer, Mr. Edwin Garro. I'm pleased to announce that Edwin is one of our lead trainers for quality management. He has over 25 years of experience in the field, also has worked with a wide range of organizations across various industries. I would kindly encourage you all during these presentations to type your questions on the question panel on your screens. After this presentation, we are going to have a Q&A session where Mr. Edwin is going to answer all your questions. Thank you all, and hope you enjoy today's webinar. Mr. Edwin, the floor is yours.
All right. Hello, everybody. And thank you for coming. I'm welcoming you to my home in San Jose, Costa Rica. And at the same time, at this point, I am at your homes in various countries all around the world. And I'm so glad we're going to talk today about organizational excellence. So let me do something here first. Yeah. All right. So let me introduce organizational excellence, and we're going to call it either organizational excellence or enterprise excellence. We could also call it operational excellence. We could also call it quality management, but we're going to stay with organizational excellence and enterprise excellence. And you will see why. You will see why we prefer to call it organizational excellence. And of course, the name that caught your attention was organizational excellence beyond quality management. So yes, we're going to talk way past quality management today. So let's start with a definition and check the picture. The picture alone could be the definition. And what we see in the picture is actually a hospital. And in that hospital, we see nurses, doctors, probably technicians, and administrative personnel going through the revision of their metrics or the goals for the day. And we don't see here the CEO of the company, we don't see the quality manager, we don't see the operations manager, or we don't see the doctors, the physicians alone reviewing the day. We see everybody. We see everybody going through this meeting, checking, catching, organizing for the day. Usually we think that excellence means, you know, close to perfection, the best of the best, and yes, there's no reason why that couldn't be the case, but it's even more than that. It's wider, bigger, larger than that. And let me give you a good definition of organizational excellence, and we're going to talk about it for the rest of today. So we'll start with this. It's a philosophy, and I hope you guys like philosophy. It's a philosophy, a way of thinking of the workplace where, start here, solving problem, teamwork, and leadership results in the ongoing improvement in an organization. So let's check this first part of the definition. Problem solving, teamwork, and leadership results in the ongoing improvement in an organization. So, do we need to have an excellent organization? Yes. Is it enough to have an excellent organization, let's put it like this, for yesterday's standard or even for today's standards? No. We need to know that improvement is a very important part of the organization. And let's go to the second part and again concentrate on the picture. The process involves focusing on the customer needs, right? Customer needs. So we start everything with the customer and we listen to the customer, we see the customer, and we find what's value for the customer. Okay, it's not what is value for me, it's what is value for the customer. It's not what is value for the company, it's what is value for customer. Now, keeping the employees positive and empowered, and actually in a real way, and continually improving the current activities in the workplace. Check that in 2 paragraphs, twice we've seen improvement as the main part of organizational excellence. In the first paragraph we saw, let me change this. In the first paragraph, in the first paragraph we saw improvement in an organization, and in the second paragraph we saw again continually improving the current activities in the workplace. Now let's go back to people. How do we keep people positive and empowered? Do we give them a lot of money? That's going to work for a couple of days. Do we give them, you know, like an entertainment room or vacations or a car or a bonus every year? Nothing wrong with that. But those things and things like that are not going to keep people positive and empowered. Giving people decision over their own work is going to get people positive and empowered. Okay, so with this definition, we're going to go through the rest of the hour, or a little more than that, with this definition of, again, organizational excellence or enterprise excellence, but not operational excellence and not quality management. Okay. All right. Now let's see the evolution of management, or if you will, the evolution of quality management, and let's see where we are, or even where we have been for years, and what is the idea? Where are we going? And then I'm going to give you the 4% rule that a friend of mine uses. Okay, so what we want is this. Maybe we're not there anymore, but maybe we were here in our companies. The few thinking people, okay, top managers, very smart technical people, consultants, God forbid. Okay, we're the few thinking people, and then everyone else was just working, right? What happens in such an environment is that even today is very confusing, okay? Because usually when we have a few thinking people, we miss communication. We don't have communication. We don't have the right ways to communication. Maybe we're good in top-down communications. This is the strategy. These are the goals. This is what you have to do. Do it, right? But we don't have the bottom-up communications to say, hey, I don't have the resources to do this. Hey, I have an idea of how to do this. Hey, can we talk? And there is no such chance, right? So that confusing company shouldn't be. There's something better than that. And we're moving now, and this is the idea, that we want to move to this systematic, step by step, and systemic, always thinking in the whole, always thinking in processes. Need to move this. You don't see it, but I see it. Okay. With a culture obsessed with customer value. And when we do this, it's not that we have to become, you know, we always say, well, if we were like Toyota, even if I talk a lot about Toyota today, so I apologize in advance for talking a lot about Toyota. Okay, but man, well, if we were like, you know, like Google maybe, or like I don't know, Ford or Tesla, I don't know. You guys have your favorites, right? But what's going to happen is that if we take the traditional R&D from science-based companies, plus entrepreneurship style of Silicon Valley companies, and Toyota's Kaizen, so again, there's three things here. R&D from science-based companies, you know, like medical devices companies, pharmaceutical companies, okay? Entrepreneurship and open culture of Silicon Valley companies, and Toyota Kaizen, and check this, we apply this to everybody, okay? Everybody. So if we are able to do this company-wide, then we're going in the right direction. Okay, then we're going to finally have, oops, two-way communication. Okay, we're going to have the means to have that communication. We're going to have the systems to have that communication. We're going to have the tools to have that communication for everybody. Okay, now, before I go on, yeah, you could say now, okay, this is it. Great. I'll call my CEO tomorrow and tell him this is the new way we do things. Well, that is it. I'm going to give you now what my friend Ken Schneider from the Shingo Institute calls the 4% rule. Okay, so remember that, the 4% rule. Do you people think every company in the world is engaged and energetic and ready and doing this? The answer is no. We still have lots and lots and lots of traditional companies where we still have the few thinking people. Anything wrong with the few thinking people? Nothing wrong with the few thinking people. Problem is we're missing with all the other thinking people in the company. Okay, so the 4% rule, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking right now, back in the 1980s and 1990s, so a long time ago, some very special people, we used to call them the quality gurus, we're talking about exactly the same thing. So I'm thinking about Deming and Duran, you know, and Duran's style, Joseph Duran's style was, well, people, you should improve, go ahead and improve. I'll help you improve. It'll be very good if you improve. It'd be great if you go from a few thinking people to the new way of doing things. And then we have W. Edwards Deming, and Deming was very different. He was saying exactly the same thing, but he was saying something like, Those thinking people, those few thinking people, morons. Okay, so that's the way Deming was. Okay, you want to stay with a few thinking people? It's up to you. You're going to disappear in 5 years. So what? So the 4% rule that applied back then and looks like still applies today is like this. 20% of companies in the world are trying this new approach right here. But that's, we already got rid of 80% companies in the world. Oops. Okay. And only about 20% of companies actually do it right, actually succeed. So if we do the math, and I'm sure we have lots of engineering and science people today in this webinar, there you go. 20% times 20% equals 4%. That's, my friends, Ken Snyder's 4% rule. Only 4% of companies in the world figured it out. They didn't copy anybody. They didn't follow exactly a recipe. They didn't have a mandate from top management to go from here to here. Okay. After a long journey, they finally figured out how to become a systematic and systemic culture obsessed with customer value, right? And I'm sure you're thinking now, well, to be honest with this webinar guy, we're not here. But to be also honest with ourselves, we're not here either. So, right? Aren't we all like in here somewhere? Okay, we are way better than last year, or we are way better than years ago. But are we really that world-class company where everybody thinks? Let's see. All right. So again, the three elements are traditional R&D and design. Okay, what do we have in here? We have these engineers. They gotta be engineers. There's no other way. We have these engineers making this model of a car. It's very preliminary. It's very prototype, pilot. Okay? And those are words that we don't use with everybody in the company. So we don't hear a technician. We don't hear an operator in a machine. We don't hear an operator in a machine saying, you know, boss, I'm doing a pilot test today. You know, boss, I'm doing an experiment today. Yeah. Okay? Wow. Think about it for a second. If my employees, if my operation people start saying, boss, we're going to stop for 2 hours today, no production, okay, no transactions, okay, no service, because we're going to do an experiment. Think about your companies, think about your own company, and see if that language would be allowed in your company. Or if the boss immediately will go like crazy. What do you mean an experiment? Go to work. So science-based, traditional R&D, design, and everybody engaged in ways of R&D, design, experiments, pilot tests, etc. Number 2. This is really hard. You know, the entrepreneurship, open culture of Silicon Valley's companies. This is really hard. The other day, I was exactly there where those two people are, And you know, those bicycles you see there, you can take those bicycles anywhere in the Google campus. The first time I was there, I was told that it was only for employees. The second time I was there this year, before the world went crazy, I was told that everybody can take one of those bicycles. Unfortunately, I didn't have an opportunity because I was too busy during the day. So think about this for a moment. This entrepreneurship culture, where if you have an idea that could be your own business, you can actually tell the company, why don't we do this? You are so encouraged to do this that many people, lots of people, the majority of people actually have Fridays for their own ideas. A whole day, a fifth of their working time to have their own ideas and to develop their own ideas. But at the same time, because again, we could say, okay, no problem, we start tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow on, we're going to have everybody having a day off, having their own ideas. They can work from home. They can use our labs. They can use our computers, etc. Think about if that could be possible in your company. Okay, the answer is no. And one of the reasons why Google or Facebook or Uber or Apple or any of these companies, probably I'm missing a lot of them, but one of the reasons they can do this is because they have tons of money. Okay, it is what they do with their money what is interesting. Okay, instead of keeping the money for the founders, instead of investing like crazy, okay, they use that money to create this culture, this entrepreneurship culture. Products that we know, I'm sure I have a lot of people. And I'm sure each one of us has a Gmail email account, right? So that was the idea of an employee. One employee in Google, one Googler, said one day, you know, I have this idea, an open email, just like Hotmail, but better. And the boss, what did the boss say? The boss didn't say, go ahead, no. Work. You have work to do. Present the idea to a committee of thinking people and we will see if we pursue this. No, this person, the boss, just said, go ahead and do it. You have your Fridays to do it. Okay, so and that's a billion people idea now. A billion people are in Gmail. Okay, and believe it or not, that is one of the criteria that Google uses to see if one of the products is successful. When it passes the threshold of 1 billion people. All right, so again, let me go back one slide. So we need to put systems so that people can actually try things. People can actually experiment. People can actually research in their own way. Everybody, again, everybody. But that is not easy. Okay? That is not easy. We also need to give people this atmosphere, this culture, where they feel safe doing these things. And it is not because we have a lot of money. Again, these companies decided to do this with their money. And then something that is key here is that we need a place where we have psychological safety. Okay, you want high performance, you want the best of people, you want the best of us people, you really need psychological safety. What are the elements of psychological safety? Very simple. You go to work and you know you can express your ideas and no one will crush you for your ideas. Okay, it is the boss that has one main goal, and is this. Bosses, managers over there, make your people look awesome. You wanna look great? Make your people look awesome. Everybody understands what is value. So everybody understands how to deliver awesome value. Okay? Make this safety, and again, this is not only physical safety, which is key, this is also mental, psychological safety. If I stop a person with a good idea once, that's all we need. If I stop a person with a good idea once, that's it. That person will never think again in the company. And look at the last element. We've been talking about this. Experiment and learn rapidly. Okay, it is not that we like to make mistakes. That's not the idea. We're not there to make mistakes. If we make a mistake, we learn really fast. And I'm a good learner because I kind of good making good mistakes. All right. One last element is that we have to avoid the hypoboss. I learned this back in Silicon Valley about 5 years ago, and I love this. No hypobosses in organizational excellence. What is a hypoboss? A hypo is this acronym here invented by a Silicon Valley guy whose name I don't remember right now. And what a hypoboss is, the highest paid person opinion. The hypoboss, highest paid person opinion. Okay, so we'll have these ideas, but then we turn to the boss. Or we turn to the hypo. And we don't even participate in the decision. We leave it to the hypoboss. Okay? All right. So again, no hypobosses. You want organizational excellence? Sorry, no hypobosses. Okay. What else? What else is important? I love this whiteboard. It's very representative. There are lots of problems in this company. It's a hospital. Actually, you can see there something here. You can see patient experience. So it's got to be a hospital, right? So because problems are depersonalized. I'm like 40% sure that's a word in English. Not even sure. My native language, by the way, is Spanish. So I barely speak English as a second language. And we can actually make up words. So if I made up this word, so what? So problems are depersonalized. And and when I checked it with Microsoft Office, didn't say anything. Okay, so I made the experiment. That means all the red metrics that we see here, all the red, which means one thing, right? It means we're not there. It means the metric is not fulfilling a goal. The metric is less than the goal right now. Okay? But we are not blaming anybody. If we would blame a person for those metrics, I'm telling you something, they will all be green, period. That's what happened in Ford back in I think the early 2000s, new CEO Alan Mulally, great guy, great guy. He turned Ford around completely, and I know you guys like to drive Fords, and believe me, sorry for what I'm going to say, it's the only American car I would drive, a Ford. Mr. Mulally decided to have a set of metrics assigned to top managers all over the world with with a color code. Green if the metric was okay, yellow if it needed some improvement, and of course red if it needed lots of improvement. And then he set a meeting, a worldwide meeting, using communication platforms like those that we discovered lately, right? Aren't they good? And the first week he went over those criteria, those metrics. All of them were green. I think it was 80. He said it was 80 metrics, 80 key indicators, 80 metrics, all green. And he thought, well, how can this be? Okay, we're losing $5 billion a year, and all our metrics are okay. Come on, guys, you can do better. For next week's meeting, go and search, go deeper to see what's going on. Second week, all the metrics were green. And this time, he wasn't happy. And he again said, but in a very different mood, this is impossible. It is impossible that a company that is losing $5 billion a year, it's all good. Okay, I want action. I want to see what's really going on here. Okay, third week, you needed to wait for 3 weeks. Third week, all metrics green, but one. One timid, shy, hesitant, yellow metric. And so he went, okay, green, yellow, hey. And he stopped there. Hey, whose metric is this? One of the managers went like, me? Okay, let's see. What's the process? What's going on? What can we do to help? Okay, what's the issue? Why are we not getting to that goal, etc., etc. Starting week 4 and on, everybody was finally candid. Everybody finally presented the truth, because it was not about them as top managers. It was about their processes in the company. Now, Mulally, back in the early 2000s, was still using the 3-color code: green, yellow, red. If you see here, most of the time, I think there are a few that uses that all of the you can see we have here either green or red. So we either got to the goal or not, period. And again, nobody's blaming anybody for this. Okay, the process is red, right? Like over here, the process, the metrics in that process are red. Who's accountable for this? Very different from who do we blame for this? Who's accountable for this? All right. So, depersonalized problems. And again, may or may not be a word in English. Depersonalized problems. What else? What else? Every single day. Every single day. That means every day. That doesn't mean once a week. That doesn't mean once a month. That doesn't mean once a year. Every single day we talk at all levels. Okay, where do we talk? In the Gemba. In the Gemba. I think I'll use a few Japanese terms today, and they are no longer Japanese. They are universal now. Okay, what is the Gemba? Gemba is the actual workplace. In Japanese, this is a very important word. It is used every day, and not only in business settings. It's used everywhere. The Gemba, the actual place where things happen. Okay, so that is the Gemba. So if we want to improve something, no matter our level, it doesn't matter if I'm the CEO, if I'm a middle manager, or if I'm an operator, I need to be in the Gemba. Who's in the Gemba all the time? Operators, operating people, right? They are the ones who are always in the Gemba because their Gemba is the Gemba. Is top management constantly seeing, visiting the Gemba? You know the answer. You know the answer. You know, sometimes I get answers like, yes, our CEO visited the floor in let's see, I think 2018. What a day! What a day! Of course, it took us a week to clean and new uniforms for everybody and that. But yes, he's in the Gemba. No, he was in the Gemba 2 years ago. He's not in the Gemba. Maybe this is the new Gemba. The communication platforms and meeting platforms and all this. It's part of the new Gemba. Okay, in 15 minutes meetings. Okay, so if we meet every day, every single day, do we need an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to check what's going on? No, we meet every single day. We huddle. Okay, they are called huddles, and I'm sure many of you call them huddles. Okay, huddle like in American football, that thing that no one outside of the United States understands, but it's exciting anyway. Okay, like in American football, okay, we have these huddles, these small meetings at all levels. Okay, we can see this huddle. Check this huddle here. Hospital huddle again. We see maybe she's not necessarily the boss. She's not necessarily in charge of all the nurses we see here. Okay, she might be, I don't know, but we don't care. At this point, she's presenting something. Everybody here is listening and making opinions. So things like what happened yesterday, how do we improve what failed yesterday, and what do we have to do today? That's basically the things that we do in a huddle. In any order, what do we have to do today? Is there anything we have to improve? Is there anything anyone has to say? Is there an idea of any of you? What else is going on? And after 15 minutes, we go back to work. We go to work. Now, as you can see here, no one is sitting, right? Okay, we called it the uncomfortable meeting. Okay, if I don't have a place where to sit, then I don't want to be there. I want to go back to work. So that is one of the ways we make sure that huddles are fast. No sit, no cushions, nowhere to rest. Okay, we can see this guy here, probably an administrative guy. We can see the people here, and also same thing, checking metrics or making a quick presentation. And also, of course, in both cases, we have a very visual display of our metrics. Very visual display of our metrics. This is an important tool when we know how to use it. and a very bad tool if we don't know how to take advantage of it, right? So now I'm 100% sure at this point you all agree with me. Great. Let's do this. Makes sense. Yeah. Maybe some of you are saying, well, you know, we tried Six Sigma, didn't work. You know, top management said from now on we're lean, didn't work. That is not the way to do it. So let's start. Let's talk about how to do it. Let's see how we're doing on time, because I have no idea. Oops, not very good. Okay, so we need to go from whatever type of management we're doing to principle-based management, and we're going to follow this. And I guess I can say this: if any of you are going to be in next week's CMQ OE class, Certified Manager of Quality and Organizational Excellence certification from the American Society for Quality, if any of you are going to be there, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go culture, systems, tools. Culture, systems, tools. What's the idea? There's a question for top management, and only top management can answer this question. Why? Why? Okay, because top management, you know, they are accountable, responsible for creating the purpose for the custom, for the purpose for the company, and designing the culture. Okay, if we don't design the culture will design itself. So we need to be very careful. Okay, if we don't design the culture will design itself. You know, when I visit your companies, and by your companies I mean companies in the Middle East mainly, we always have, you know, 20 nationalities, 40 nationalities, 50 nationalities. Okay, and each person from each nationality brings to the company a piece of the culture, which is great, because we need that diversity. But if we don't manage that culture, then we're going to have these many subcultures going on in the company. It's easy to see when we go to the cafeteria, this nationality eats with this nationality, that nationality eats with that nationality. It's easy to see it. Okay, if I speak this language, then I get the opportunity to speak my language with my people, that language, the other language, etc. Okay, good thing is that we all speak football. You know, remember football, that thing that used to play or used to see in television, you know, in ancient times, with teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid and Manchester United and Liverpool and those. Yeah, okay, maybe that will happen again sometime. Again, culture, something for top management, and answers the question why I'm here. How, who, where. Those are questions for middle managers, and middle managers are in charge of create and manage systems. And then there's the what. What do I do? What do I do? Employees, everyone, use tools. So again, and check, because this is aligned. Why do we do things this way? Okay, now I know. Now I know how to do them. How do we do things this way? Now I know what are the tools to do them. One of the problems that we have in our companies is that we go straight to tools with no idea of the alignment that comes before. Want an example? Your ERP. Beautiful ERP. enterprise resource planning software, $5 million, $10 million, and didn't solve a single problem in the company. Why? Because you went straight to the tool. Again, you went straight to the tool. It's not aligned to your systems. It's not aligned to your culture. Okay, what else? Let's define these things. Organizational culture. A system of shared assumptions, values, and beliefs which governs how people behave in organizations. Okay. Let me add this. Easy to see, hard to explain. You can see it. We see it every day. Okay. We see our beliefs. We see our values. We see our assumptions. But hard to explain. How to measure. We can actually measure. We can measure a culture, but it's hard. It's hard to measure a culture. What is a system? A system is a collection of tools working together to accomplish an intended outcome. And the outcome could come from here or be its own. And what is a tool? A tool, our beloved tools. A tool is a single device or point solution that accomplishes a specific task. Let me give you another example of a tool. Maybe many of you companies have done, or actually still have 5S or 6S or 9Ss, whatever you want to call it. Okay, the visual management tool from Lean. And guess what? And you guys know this, it didn't work, right? Okay, how come it worked in that company, but it didn't work in my company? Or it actually worked, but not with the big, great results you were expecting, because it's a tool. It's a tool. It should be part of a system, and the system is visual management, and it should be part of the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing visual management? I want to tell you in a second why we're doing visual management, and why, of all things, we could do things like 5S, right? Okay, so let me get into secrets here. Let me get into the 3 insights of organizational excellence. I very deliberately, on my very own, this is my idea, I do this because I can do this. I'm going to take this from the Shingo model of enterprise excellence. And out of the things out there, many frameworks, many national awards, many national prizes and stuff, if there is one that is universal and principle based, is the Shingo model. So let me warn you about one thing, because I'm going to repeat this word 3 times: behavior, behavior, behavior. All right, I told you, behavior, behavior, behavior. So this is the first secret that I'm going to tell you. Insight number 1: ideal results require ideal behaviors. What is an ideal result, people? You know, a result that is aligned to our strategy, that is consistent, that is improving, and that is sustainable in the future. In summary, we're doing great. Okay. We want to do great. We all want to do great, right? We all want to do great. We need great behaviors from people. We want ideal results from people who are always late to work. It's not going to happen. Okay. We want great quality from people who actually see a defect and passes a defect to the next station. It's not going to happen. We want great customer service Yeah, we do, right? We want great customer service. Can we have great customer service from someone who's not motivated to do the work, from someone who couldn't care less about the customer? It's not going to happen, right? So, oof. So that's it. We need ideal behaviors. And again, this is so easy to say, right? Easy to say. Ideal behaviors. Okay, end of the presentation. Let's go. Do ideal behaviors. Okay, make a list of ideal behaviors and do them. Okay, start, and then we will have ideal results. Now, that's only the first secret. Let me give you the second secret. But these are secrets. What am I giving these secrets to you? I shouldn't. No, I think I like it. So I'll continue. Secret number 2, insight number 2. Purpose and systems drive behavior. Okay, let's see. Purpose. And please don't give me your mission and your vision and your values, because you know no one believes in them in your companies. What is the purpose? Summarize the purpose of the company. The one thing that makes me go to work every single day. That should be the purpose of the company. And it's, you know, requires a lot of work from top management to come with the right purpose and to communicate, deploy the right purpose. It's not easy. So that is one thing. If I have a clear purpose, then I can inform my behaviors because of the purpose. That's half of it. And the other half is that we need to have systems. Again, remember, collection of tools to get to a goal. We need to have systems to drive those behaviors. We need to have systems who are going to make those good behaviors possible. It's not about motivation. It's not about will. It's about systems that make me look great. Have systems that make your employees, your people look great. Okay. Let's say we don't want a behavior. Okay? We don't want a behavior. So we make a sign. Don't be late. Right? Is that a bad system or what? Not even a system. It's a tool, and not a very good tool. Don't be late. But what if we start putting systems in place so we can't be late? We have better transportation. We have open hours to get into the company. We take into consideration people's lives. They have to go to school and leave the children. Well, they used to do it, not anymore. And that kind of thing. Okay, so we make it very clear that some specific actions will lead to some specific results. And we start to make our systems better towards those actions needed to actually have the right results. And let me give you the third secret. Secret number 3. It's this. Oops. I don't know how I did that. Okay. Is this. Principles, because remember, this is principle-based management. Principles inform ideal behaviors. And a principle, according to this, is a rule or belief governing one's personal behavior. Okay, so let's go back to behavior. Behavior is something that we can see, we can describe, and we can measure. Okay? We can measure how many times a person is late during the week. We can measure the minutes that person, hopefully minutes, the minutes that person is late over the week. Okay, what is a principle? Okay, a principle is this axiomatic thing, this base thing that is governing my life, even if I am not aware of it. So there's always a result of following or not following a principle. Okay, let's go to science again. Something very simple. Gravity. Okay, gravity force. It's a principle of nature. Do we follow it? Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but it's always there. Okay, we're not gonna jump from the third floor or for the 100th floor of a building because we know what's gonna happen, right? And we can't say today I'm not gonna follow that principle. So let me show you what I mean by principles, showing you principle-based management companies. Let me start with Toyota. Very simple. I warned you. I said I was going to talk about Toyota. Let me check the time. Oops. Not good. Okay, so two main principles: respect for people and Kaizen, continuous improvement, period. We can open them to three kinds of general principles. Principles about people, principles about process, principles about purpose. And in the case of Toyota, we open respect for people to two principles here: respect itself and teamwork. And continuous improvement, we open it to Genchi Genbutsu. Very simple. Go to Gemba. Go where the action is. Okay. The problem is there. Yes, is where the problem is happening, right? But also the solution is there. The solution is not in an office. The solution is not in a computer. The solution is in the Gemba. So Genchi Genbutsu. Go to Gemba. Kaizen. That is so big. We're going to talk about Kaizen in a minute. And challenge. Out of purpose. How can we do things even better than what we are doing today? You know, let me give you a quick example of Toyota. Everybody in the world, every car company and every software and computer company, they are all trying to get to the self-driving car, right? Every single company to the self-driving car. If you ask Toyota if they are pursuing the self-driving car, they're going to say yes. But we don't care about the self-driving car because that is not our purpose. Our purpose is safety. Okay, so we are pursuing the self-driving car because we want cars to be safer than they are today because of we people keep making mistakes when we drive. Okay, so then we challenge the self-driving car. We don't want it to drive by itself. We want it to be the safest thing ever. So now those are Toyotas, and they've been developing this for 75 years or something. So every time you ask a Toyota executive if we, the other companies in the world, can actually be like them, their answer is going to be, it's up to you. We've been trying for 70 years and we're here. So when you are where we are, believe me, we expect to be here. And that is one way to say that actually at the end, no one really understands what's going on inside Toyota. So let me be more general here for a second. Let me go to the 10 principles of the Shingo model. Again, check people, process, purpose. We have at the very base the cultural enablers, and there are two of those. Respect every individual, just like Toyota, and lead with humility. Let me talk about this just for a second. Respect every individual. See the value of each person. Every time I see a person, I see a project in development. And that goes for everybody in the company. Everybody is getting better all the time. We are so into seeing the value of each person that we respect their safety. We respect their integrity. We respect their development. And lead with humility. We listen to everybody. We stop being hypo bosses. Okay, we make a culture and we make systems when it's not possible to be a hypo boss, because we listen to everybody, because we don't have all the answers. Okay, we are vulnerable. Okay, we are humble. It doesn't matter if I'm the CEO. It doesn't matter if I'm the best black belt in the company. I don't have all the answers. Then we have the 5 principles of continuous improvement. So it's like we are opening Kaizen here. Oops. Sorry. So we're opening Kaizen. Okay, and we have 5. Improve flow and pull. So we want things to flow all the time. Okay, if there's no flow, it's because something is not right. If we have too much inventory, if the customer is waiting, if we don't have an answer, if we have a problem, if we have to stop, it's because something is not right. Assure quality at the source. Okay, we make quality. We don't inspect quality. We make quality. So we make systems that actually make quality, and we don't have to rely so much on inspection. There will always be inspection. I actually love inspection, but we rely too much on inspection because we don't trust our processes. Seek perfection, and let me put it like this: seek intelligent perfection. So continuous improvement on everything will lead us to a perfection that will never get there. So we'll improve all the time. Embrace scientific thinking. Again, experiments, pilots, ideas in the company, hypothesis testing all the time, and focus on process, not people. Process. Improve the process. Check the process. Find the problems in the process. It's not the people, it's the process. And all of this because we have 3 final principles. Create value for the customer. Okay, we need the customer to trust us. That's it. If the customer trusts us, the customer will return. If there is no trust, the customer will go somewhere else. And by that, we need to create purpose. Create constancy of purpose. W. Edwards Deming, #1 point of his famous 14 points of management. Create constancy of purpose. Okay, meaning we don't change our purpose every year or every 2 years. Constancy of purpose. I go to work to this place where I work because of this purpose. Okay, and very important, think systemically. Not systematically, systemically. What about it? Okay, when I think systemically, I think of the whole. I think in processes. I think of the effect of this on this. Okay, it's like when the great people from marketing, we all love them, and if we have someone from marketing here, okay, the great people from marketing comes with this promotion, right? And then they do everything related to the promotion here, but never see what's going on in the process. And then this beautiful promotion with the best of intentions that was created to make lots of money gets the operation into lots of trouble because we actually didn't really have ways to comply with that promotion. That's just an example out of millions of examples, okay? When one department does one thing without consulting or checking what's going on in all the other departments. All right. So let me, just for a second, relate what I'm talking about today with the American Society for Quality approach to organizational excellence. So everything I'm saying here about culture, systems, and tools relates to the CMQ-OE certification in this way. In the body of knowledge of the CMQ, we actually check how to make that culture through leadership and strategic development and deployment. We spend a lot of time in those systems needed to actually make possible the strategic deployment in management elements and methods. And then we spend a lot of time in quality management tools. Check. It's not quality management tools alone. Well, I invented a word, tolos, but it was supposed to be tools. It's not quality management tools by themselves. It's not, you know, management element and methods by themselves. It's aligned, it's coordinated. And finally, we check for three little things: customer focused organizations, supply chain management, and training and development. Okay, all right. So I just wanted to talk just for a second about the CMQ-OE certification from ASQ, which sometimes I teach, but I love. Boy, do I love this thing. All right. So again, let me give you. I shouldn't give you this slide. Okay, I'm going to give you a way to start this. Not easy, but then remember, top management gives the why, middle management and very high technical people give the what, the systems, and then we all work with the tools. So we start with one system: strategic deployment. Strategic deployment is very different from strategic development. Okay, I have no idea of how to develop your strategy. I can develop my own strategy, my company's strategy, because it's what I do. It's my monosukuri, a Japanese word that actually means expertise, but monosukuri sounds nicer than expertise. Okay, so I can't, again, I wouldn't venture into doing your strategy, but I know how to deploy a strategy. And the strategic deployment that has to go to all the company, top down and bottom up, comes from one question: what is winning? What is winning for this company? Okay? What is gonna make us win in the market? And then we communicate to everybody how we're gonna win. Okay? And then everybody comes back and says, that's impossible. We can't do this. We need these resources. We need this. We do that. We can't do this, but we can do something else. We don't have an idea on how to do this, but we have an idea on how to do this. Okay? So that's strategic deployment. Very different from strategic development. Then we go to a second system: visual management system, not just, you know, a whiteboard with things on it. Okay? And we are also answering a question here. And the question is, are we winning or are we losing? because we have a visual display of our key metrics. So we know if we are winning or we are losing. And then from there, we go to a system, Kaizen, continuous improvement. Kaizen as a system, Kaizen as a whole. Okay? Because we want an answer to another question. And the question is, if we are losing, what are we doing about it? And then we go, we do improvement projects. We can do Six Sigma if we want. We can do the make from Six Sigma. We can do PDCA. We can do small projects. And then we go, to complete the figure, we go to a fourth system, standard work of the leader. Okay, and it's the leader asking, how can I help you win? Okay, because managers have power. They have power that the employees don't have. They have resources that other people don't have, right? Okay, so my resources as a manager are at the service of everyone else. So I go to the Gemba and ask the manager question, how can I help you? Remember that, that's the manager question. I'm doing really bad with my time. So well, let me go. It's because of the questions. If you guys are going to have questions at the end, I'm going to make sure that we have time for some questions. All right. So let's do this. Now let's do this. Now we have all the framework. We know we know what's going on. We know what we're pursuing. So we're going to do it now. One word, Kaizen. Supposed to mean continuous improvement, but it's way more than that. It's the way we do things in a company. And this guy, we have to blame this guy. And my man here, Masaaki Imai, still alive, great mind, great person. Lately, he's been very worried about the traditional definition of Kaizen as continuous improvement. And he wants more from us. Message is of the Kaizen strategy is that not a day should go by without some kind of improvement being made somewhere in the company. In fact, Mr. Imai now believes that a better definition of Kaizen is everyday improvement, everybody improvement, everywhere improvement. Everyday improvement, everybody improvement, everywhere improvement. It's not just making a project a year or leaving the projects to the Six Sigma people or to the continuous improvement or the engineering people. It's everybody, every day, everywhere improvement. And last thing I'm going to talk about is two specific tools, Lean tools and Six Sigma tools. If any of you is wondering now why they didn't work before, is before they were tools. They were not systems and they were not strategies in your company. Okay, let me see, and let's start with Lean. Okay, collection of tools, techniques, and processes to reduce waste through continuous improvement. Main thing here, reducing waste. Okay, anything that doesn't add value to the customer. And I was in another webinar as a speaker about 2 or 3 I think 3 weeks ago, and my friend here, one of the speakers, came with this beautiful, and I'm giving you, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch it because it's in YouTube now. It's an hour and 48 minutes of good stuff. Good stuff. The only one who's not good is me. Okay, so lean, meaning of lean: customer value, lowest total cost, and again, beautiful, respect for people. And a definition here: lean is maximizing customer value at the lowest total cost, all with respect for people. Okay, great definition, right? And again, I'm giving you their a YouTube link where you can watch the whole thing if you want. Okay, more Japanese. A little more Japanese here. Mura mura muri. Mura, waste. Okay, most of us know this word, muda, because it's the one word that Toyota decided to make popular in the rest of the world. And they thought that in introducing muri and mura at the same time would have been confusing. So we know mura, non-value added activities, non-value added activities. But then we also have muri, and that means overburden. And we also have mura, and that means variation, imbalance, uneven, irregular. The three of them are in the way of our results. This is what we call the 8 muda, or the 8 wastes, and they are defects, overproduction, waiting for anything. I'm going to keep this out of the discussion for a second. Transportation, inventory, motion, and extra processing. Okay. Even if we are busy doing those 7 things, like lots of transportation, lots of extra processing, lots of motion, etc., even if those 7 things keep us busy, we are not adding any value. And then a special moment here for unused talent is because we don't use in the right way people's talents, skills, knowledge, and brain. Okay, remember the beginning? Few thinking people versus everybody thinking. That's a muda. The few thinking people is a muda because we are not using everybody's talents, skills, and knowledge. Okay, and we also have Six Sigma. Okay, and a second here. Six Sigma is not a strategy. Maybe it was 25 years ago. Could still in some companies be a program. I don't know, maybe, but it's usually not the case now. The Six Sigma over the years became a skill, a problem-solving skill. So don't expect to find a Six Sigma company in 2020. There are no Six Sigma companies in 2020. It makes no sense to be a Six Sigma company in 2020. Well, General Electric was a Six Sigma company in 95. Yeah. I'm sure I can find at least 5 people here who were not born in 95. Okay? But it's a great skill. It's a great problem-solving skill. This happened to me while visiting Google. And someone asked what was the most popular training, the most popular course in Google right now. And you know, the answer was the most popular training in Google is Six Sigma. What? Is it because you guys are a Six Sigma company? We don't care about Six Sigma. Is it because you have a Six Sigma program? We don't even use the word program in Google. Okay, so then why do they have everybody pursuing Six Sigma? Because they need the skill, they need the problem solving skill. Go back to the traditional definition, a quality vision that strives for only 3.4 defects per million occurrences of every product or service transaction. The whole idea is to put a number to perfection. 3.4 defects per million. That actually, the whole thing means this. See this black, oops, keep doing this, sorry. See this black normal curve here? How it is very close to the specs or to the customer requirements, whatever you call it. Okay, that's the old 3 Sigma. Okay, and that represents a process. And what he's saying is that my process is too close to the actual customer requirements. That means that if anything goes wrong, I'm gonna pay to deliver the promise. But you see the other process, the other normal here, the red, okay, is so narrow, so variation is so small that even if I have a problem, the customer won't even notice what's going on. I will always deliver to the customer, whether it is on time or in the quantity or in the specs the customer wanted. Okay, the Six Sigma journey probably will take us from 3 Sigma, about 66,000 defects per million, to 4 Sigma, 10 times better, about 6,000 defects per million, to 5 Sigma, 233, and finally to 6 Sigma and beyond, 3.4 parts per million. But again, we don't even care about those numbers. What we care is about the fact that when we have less variation, then we have better product and service to the customer, because the customer sees and feels variation, okay, not averages or other metrics or internal metrics. Okay, the customer sees if we have too much variation from one transaction to the next, then the customer is not going to trust us and is going to go somewhere else. And of course, we use our beloved DMAIC cycle. We define the problem by answering the question, what is the problem? Then we measure that problem, but starting to see what are the potential sources of the problem. Then we analyze that problem by checking as best as we can on the root cause or probably root causes of that problem. And I say as best as we can because usually when we are solving a problem here at this point in time, but the problem happened here at this other point of time, you know, maybe the root cause was here and not here when we are analyzing the problem. So there's a chance we're not going to get to all the possible root causes, but we do our best, and it's continuous improvement. The next time we're going to do even better. Then something very important in Six Sigma, then we try our solutions. Again, we try our solutions. Okay, pilot testing, pilot implementation, and finally, we sustain those improvements in the last stage or the last phase, which is control. In the whole world, when I used to go and travel to many different countries, I used to give every company a big poster with this. It's there, you can make your own poster, and everybody kind of liked it and enjoyed it and took them to the companies. And again, Six Sigma, great skill, period. It's not a program, it's not a strategy, it's a problem-solving skill that works after all these years, because we Six Sigma people, we Six Sigma practitioners have done one thing right. Our big toolbox is always open. Okay, not only to take the right tool to solve a problem, but also we keep adding new tools. So for those of you into Agile now, guess what? We are integrating Agile and Six Sigma. Why? Because it makes sense. All right, that's it. I took the liberty to make this picture of Dr. Deming as a very Latin American revolutionary saying, "Viva la quality." Yeah, you know, just to punch you guys in the face. And the whole thing that I've said here goes back to the 4% rule. And when I said that, as Deming said, it's not necessary to change. You can stay the way you are, because survival is not mandatory. So that's it. Thank you very much. That's me in my natural environment working. And I don't know, Monica, if we have time for questions. I think we have some minutes. Okay,
yeah,
so
we also have questions. I mean, I've answered most of them.
Oh, good.
Because, you know, we had a question if this presentation will be shared. Kindly everyone know that the webinar is recorded and will be posted on the YouTube channel for LEORON Institute.
No, it will be shared.
We had another question, which is a really nice question. What is the difference between teamwork and team trust? Mr. Assad asked.
Oh, thank you very much. There's no teamwork without team trust. And if I have a few minutes, let me say this. One of the most difficult things in the world is teamwork. We have to nurture the team, teach the team how to work to get to that trust. And I usually do this trick. What is easier, to work alone or to work in teams? Think about the answer. It is easier to work by yourselves or to work in teams. And the answer is, it is easier to work alone. It's the right answer.
Thank you.
Paper by paper and research, it is easier to work alone. So to have a great team requires a lot of work put into that team to actually get to that trust. In fact, I would say team is hollow, it's empty. Team trust, I love it. Great point, great question. Thank you. Okay.
We
Anything
have
else?
a question from Majdi, which is, what is the excellent tool nowadays for problem solving?
Okay, great question also. You know, I'm going to trick you with this answer. Any tool, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. If the tool is a standalone tool, it doesn't matter. My friend, it's not going to work because it's not going to be sustainable. It doesn't matter if you call it Agile, if you call it Kaizen, Lean, Six Sigma. I'm so sorry, it's not going to work. Okay, you need to start from the top, and then the opposite is going to happen. If you start from the top and you can answer the why from top management, the why, the what from middle management, then believe this, any tool is going to work. And when we have the purpose first, then we suddenly see how any of these tools I'm referring to actually fit into the company. And at the end, it's probably going to be a combination of Kaizen, Agile, creativity tools that you will at the end call your own. And everything I'm saying here, I love Agile, I love Kaizen, I love Lean, I love Six Sigma, okay? But they have to fit into your organization, all right? Great question, thank you very much.
Thank you, Edwin.
Anything else?
We have another question from Sania C. His question is, how do you compare the success rates in any process by Six Sigma as compared to success from Lean management and Kaizen?
Okay, because of my two previous answers, you know the answer. Okay, there's no difference. There's no difference because as standalone tools, they are going to give you and your company some success. But it's your company's culture what is going to make the difference. Maybe I can say this. Spread the Lean tools to everybody, and then when everybody is proficient with the Lean tools in your culture, again, not on their own, but in your culture, then go to Six Sigma, and maybe you can have a black belt here and there. It's important to have black belts. You know, those people are important, but not many. Not many. Have black belts who can actually facilitate improvements all over the operation. So at the end, it's not Lean against Six Sigma, it's Lean with Six Sigma. And believe me, it takes a lot of time to develop either one or both. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Edwin, for the
and I hope I answered. Mm-hmm.
Yes. We have another question from Mohammed. His question is, how organizational excellence models dealing with the growing digitalization of organization? How is the organizational excellence dealing with the growing digitalizations?
Yes. Again, the growing and important digitalization, let's call it 4.0, right? Industry 4.0 wouldn't work without us, without people. Remember the three things: people, process, purpose. So we can have great digital tools making us faster, but for no purpose. Okay, so we need to go to our purpose first. We need to understand where digitalization will be better, and we need to understand where automation and digitalization will make people better, whether it is our customer, our employees, or even our management, even our owners. There's something the Japanese really believe in this, and it's that no machine will ever replace expertise. Okay, so if I can have a machine, a computer, a software that helps me make my job faster, then I'll do it. Okay, so digitalization, do it in the right way, is at the service of organizational excellence.
Thank you, Edwin. We have one last question from Khalid. He's asking, can I apply Six Sigma to all types of manufacturing factory, or is there any limitation?
Again, thank you for the question. If you believe me, my friend, that Six Sigma is a problem-solving skill and not anything else, the answer is yes. Because you can go with this detective mentality to any kind of problem, not only in manufacturing, but also in service transactions. So you're going to find out why this is happening in order to come with a solution or an answer. Maybe one thing that is not needed is to spend 4 to 6 months in a project. You can do the make project in 1 day, in 1 week. It's the mentality what is important. It's the skill what is important. What do I need to solve this problem? Okay.
Thank you, Edwin. We have a lot more questions. I will make sure everyone gets the answer on their emails because we're running out of time. I would like you, on behalf of LEORON Group, myself and Mr. Edwin, thank you everyone for participating on this webinar. Hope we've met and even exceeded your expectations. A kindly reminder on the upcoming Certified Manager of Quality and Organizational Excellence session. It's approaching this coming Sunday. It's already a confirmed session. We'll be very interactive. Mr. Edwin is using many useful tools that you can implement in your everyday work. It's going to be fun, so please feel free to contact your contact person at LEORON or email me and sign up on the session. Thank you everyone again. Ramadan Kareem, and enjoy this evening.
Thank you everybody. Bye.
Thank you.